ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् रामो राजमणिः सदा विजयते रामं रमेशं भजे रामेणाभिहता निशाचरचमु रामाय तस्मै नमः रामान्नास्ति परायणं परतरं रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम् रामे चित्तलयः सदा भवतु मे भो राम मामुद्धर समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो रुद्रश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः 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 ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः. We were on the last mantra of second Mundaka, second Khanda. We had seen the concept of Bada Samanadikaranya and Mukhya Samanadikaranya. Samanadikarana is used when there are two words, two different words in the same sentence indicating the same thing. So there are two ways of understanding that statement. One is called as Bada Samanadikaranya. Second one is Mukhya Samanadikaranya. So if I say a statement, table is desk, cloth is, the thread is cloth, they are not Samanadikarana because you are knowingly using that statement, means you are knowingly using those two words. Synonymous words need not be analyzed with Samana Adhikarana. But whenever we use two words because of some reason, then Samana Adhikarana is used. So in case of Bada Samana Adhikaranya, what happens is there is one thing appearing to be something else. Because of adhyasa, because of superimposition, one appears to be something else. So in this statement, two words will be used. For example, this snake is rope. So one word is snake, another word is rope. But both are referring to only one object. Between snake and rope, snake is unreal, rope is real. Although two words are used, there is only one entity. Second thing of Bada Samanadikaranya is the degree of reality of both of them are different. If there was a real snake and real rope, you can never say the statement, the snake is rope. How can that statement be true? The snake is nothing but the rope. When the rope is real and what is appearing there is unreal snake. This concept becomes very important when we say the statement, this world is nothing but Brahman. When we say this world is nothing but Brahman, what it means is Brahman alone is real. Because of ignorance, because of superimposition, Brahman appears to be this world. Just like rope appears to be snake, Brahman appears as this Jagat. So when the statement is made, this world is Brahman, we have to use Bada Samanadikaranya. Means we have to understand the word world is not a real entity. If I say world is also real and Brahman is also real, then it is like saying snake is also real, rope is also real. Two entities which have same degree of reality and completely opposite nature. You cannot equate both of them. So when we hear this statement, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, all this is nothing but Brahman. How should we understand it? Sarvam is mithya. Sarvam is, the word all is only an appearance. What is really there is Brahman. If I am able to shift attention to the truth, then the superimposed is understood as an appearance. This point also we had discussed earlier. If I keep saying snake is mithya, nothing is going to happen. But the moment I understand what is the nature of rope, I don't have to keep repeating that snake is mithya. When I bring the light and get clear knowledge that this is only rope, the result of that understanding is I come to know snake cannot appear here. Means real snake is not there. If at all something is seen, it is only an appearance. Now let us see the mantra. Mukhya Samanadikaranya is the other part of it. Actually, let us look at it quickly because next mantra is going to use Mukhya Samanadikaranya. What is Mukhya Samanadikaranya? Again, two words are used and both are different words, but they're pointing out to one locus. But the two entities which are there, they have some aspect of reality in both. So you cannot negate one completely. Like in the case of Bada Samanadikaranya, we just negated the world. But in Mukhya Samanadikaranya, we cannot negate one word completely. The example for Mukhya Samanadikaranya is Saha Ayam Devadattaha. Devadatta whom I knew 30 years ago and Devadatta whom I am seeing right now as a sannyasi. Both of them, I cannot completely negate one and say only this Devadatta is real. Or I cannot say Devadatta, whom I knew 30 years before, is real. This one is completely unreal. They appear different because of conditioning. I have to keep the person Devadatta from 30 years, remove conditioning from there. I have to keep the person Devadatta, who I am seeing right now, remove conditionings from him in my understanding. And then equate both of these terms to one locus. Saha ayam Devadatta. So when it is said, Jiva is Ishvara, next verse is going to talk about two birds. One bird is Jiva, another bird is Ishvara. So here we cannot use Bada Samanadi Karanya, because essential nature of Jiva is consciousness, essential nature of Ishvara is consciousness. But they're appearing different. They appear different because of conditioning. Just like that Devadatta and this Devadatta appear different because of conditioning, Jiva and Ishvara appear different because of conditioning. So in Mukhya Samanadi Karanya, we negate the conditioning and understand the one entity which is being spoken about. That is called as Mukhya Samanadi Karanya. Now let us see the last mantra, 11th mantra. Brahmaivedam amrutam purastat Brahma paschat Brahma dakshinatah cha uttarena Brahma dakshinataschottarena adhaschordhvam cha prasrutam Brahmaivedam vishvamidam varishtham Brahmaivedamamrutam purastat Brahma paschat Brahma dakshinataschottarena adhaschordhvam cha prasrutam Brahmaivedam vishvamidam varishtham. Brahma eva idam amrutam. Idam refers to Jagat. This Upanishad mantra says, what we are seeing as world is nothing but Brahman seen through the lens of avidya. There is no second entity as world which is independently existing. It is like saying the colors are seen that are seen with the prism. It is nothing but the sun ray. Because of that prism, it appears as different colors. Brahma eva idam amrutam. Purastat, what we are seeing in front, the chair, the pillar, the wall, the clock, everything is nothing but Brahman. Now, how should we understand this? Through which Samanadikaranya? Bada Samanadikaranya. It is not to say that pillar is also real, wall is also real, clock is also real, and inside that is Brahman. What it means is, whatever is in front is an appearance in Brahma. Brahmaivedam amrutam purastat. Purastat means front. Brahma paschat. What is there behind is also Brahman. Brahma dakshinatah. Dakshina means right. Dakshina akshi mukha vishwaha. One who is there in the right eye is Jiva. So Dakshina means right. What is there on the right is Brahman. What is there on the left? Uttarena cha. Uttara means left. Adascha urdhvam. What is there beneath me is Brahman. If I see the floor as floor, nothing great. This mantra says, feel as though what is there beneath is that absolute truth. If not understand, feel it. Understanding is the best case. Adascha urdhvam, what is there above, is also Brahman. Adascha urdhvam cha prasrutam. Prasrutam means that which is spread out. Everything is Brahman. Vishwam idam varishtham. Brahma eva idam vishwam. Brahman alone, as though, appears as this world. Brahma eva idam vishwam. Idam varishtham. This Brahman is the supreme most, which should be sought after. And say, culmination of spiritual journey. Because Vedanta's moksha is not limited to time and space. If I say during some time I feel I am liberated, some time of the day, and for some time I feel I am bound. If I feel I am liberated in some place in my puja room, but the moment I go to work, I feel I am bound. That time we should remember this mantra. What is in front, what is behind, what is on my right, what is on my left, what is below, and what is up. Is that Brahman alone? So I should understand Brahman in this way. This is why, along with Tvampada Vichara, it is very important to do Tatpada Vichara. Tvampada Vichara is, who am I? Tatpada Vichara is, what is this world? And my answer after inquiring into what is this world should be this mantra. This world is nothing but Brahman. And the moment I get a doubt, how can this world be Brahman? This world is constantly changing. Brahman is unchanging. This world is seen. Brahman doesn't become an object of sense organ. This world was created. Brahman is unborn. Pralay will happen of this world. It is constantly modifying. And Brahman is Amrutam. What answer should come if this doubt comes? With Samanadikaranya. Bada Samanadikaranya. Unreal entity which is changing and real entity which is unchanging. It can happily coexist. By looking at that snake, I should be able to say, this is nothing but the rope. By looking at world, I should be able to say, this is nothing but Brahman. Remember, we are not making Brahman an object. That is why the concept of Bada Samanadikarana is important. We are not saying Brahman is in front of me. The world that is seen in front of me is nothing but Brahman. And where is Brahman? Previous mantras. Recognize Brahman first in the heart. Then recognize Buddhi. Then recognize the witness of thought. That witness alone is appearing as this world. Let us see the Bhashya. It's very straightforward. Yat tat jyotisham jyotihi brahma tadeva satyam sarvam tadvikaram vacharambhanam vikaro namadheyam vikaro namadheya matram anrutam itarat iti etam artham vistarena. हेतुतः प्रतिपादितं निगमस्थानीयेन मंत्रेण पुनः उपसंहरति ब्रह्म एव उक्तलक्षणम् इदम् यत् पुरस्तात् अग्रे अब्रह्म इव अविद्यादृष्टीनां प्रति अवभासमानम् तथा पश्चात् ब्रह्म तथा दक्षिणतः च तथा उत्तरेण तथा एव अधस्तात् ऊर्ध्वं च सर्वतः अन्यदिव कार्य आकारेण प्रसृतं प्रगतं नामरूपवत् अवभासमानं किं बहुना ब्रह्मैवेदं विश्वं समस्तम् इदं जगत् वरिष्ठं वरतमम् अब्रह्म प्रत्ययः सर्वः अविद्यामात्रः रज्ज्वाम् इव सर्पप्रत्ययः ब्रह्म एव एकं परमार्थसत्यम् इति वेद अनुशासनम् यत्तद् ज्योतिषां ज्योतिः ब्रह्म, what was spoken of as Jyotisham Jyoti, light of all lights. That which doesn't need another light to be known, Jyotisham Jyoti, Tadeva Satyam, that alone is the absolute reality. Tadeva Satyam. Sarvam Tad Vikaram Vacharambhanam. Vikaram here refers to effects. Everything which is an effect of Brahman, it is mere words. Vacharambhanam. Between rope and illusory snake, we can say what we are seeing as snake is just a word. There is no real entity called as snake. In the same way, whatever has emerged from Brahman, Vikaram means effect. Whatever is an effect of Brahma, it is just Vacharambhanam. Vikaro Namadheyam, Namadeya Matram. The Vikaras, modifications, they are just names. And name will have a form, Nama and Rupa. Anrutam. Rutam means truth. Narutam becomes Anrutam. That which is not true, which is an appearance, mithya, itarat iti etam artham. This meaning was elaborately described. Where was it described? He says in this particular khanda itself. Vistarena hetutaha, starting from the first mantra. Avihi sannihitam guhacharam nama. Vedanta has so many topics. But Shankaracharya says, I can explain it in half a verse. Shlokardhena pravakshami yat kinchit grantha kotivihi. Three things. Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Jiva is nothing but Brahman. Brahman alone is real. Everything which is seen as Jagat is unreal. And Jiva is Brahma. Essential nature of Jiva is that Brahma. Means if you call somebody and say, you have to speak on Vedanta for 1 hour, but you cannot mention these three topics. You cannot say Brahman is Satyam, you cannot say Jagat is Mithya, and you cannot say Jiva is Brahma. You speak. So what will you speak? If you start speaking about Panchakosha, let us say, 5 sheets. Now, description of 5 sheets in itself is not Vedanta. Description of 5 sheets is Adhyaropa, superimposition on Atma. The main message is, I am beyond these 5 sheets. And if somebody starts speaking about Jagat, the vastness of creation, the intelligence behind creation, the types of animals which are there, if you go snorkeling, how you see that whole place. By itself, that description of creation is not Vedanta. It is description of conditioning. Just like at individual level, if I describe mind, if I describe body, prana, that is not the main message of Vedanta. Creation, when we understand, has emerged from Brahman. And these individual conditionings, when we understand, they have emerged from Brahman. That is 50% Vedanta. 50% Tvam-pada, 50% Tat-pada. Real Vedanta is when we equate both of them. Mahavakya comes and equates both of them. That is when we realize Brahman alone is Satyam and the conditionings are Mithya. So Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. Brahman is Satyam, Jagat is Mithya. Where this body is also part of Jagat. But because we have so much identification with this body, our teachers say, analyze this body separately. Generally, when we see Jagat, where does our Jagat start? Outside this body. But from standpoint of consciousness, avidya, ahankara, mind, sense organ, body, everything is part of Jagat. So Jagat Mithya means starting from avidya, all the way until Brahmanda, everything is an appearance. Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. The one whom I am calling as Ahankara, in essence, is pure consciousness. The one whom I am calling as this person, if I remove conditionings, I will discover the substratum of universe. This is the main message which has been already spoken about in this chapter. Now this is concluded. Nigamana sthaniyena. Nigamana means essence or conclusion. That is this mantra. Sthaniyena mantrena punah upasamharati. Again, this topic is rehashed. Brahma eva ukta lakshanam idam. What has been spoken as Brahma Lakshana so far, Divyo Hyamurta Purushaha. This particular Khanda also had several Brahma Lakshanas. It is the same Brahman, Idam Yat Purastat. What is there in front? Agre, Abbrahma Iva. Although it is the same Brahman which is appearing as creation, it appears as though to be different. Abbrahma Iva, Avidya Drushtinam. Because of the lens of avidya, it appears as this changing world. Sorry? It says what? No, agre, after that there is an avagraha. After agre, you can put an avagraha, purva rupa sandhi. Agre abrahma iva. Agre abrahma iva avidya drishtinam. Because of avidya drishti, it as though appears as not self. You can explain both ways. But then that word iva will not fit. If you say agre brahma iva avidya drishtina, so how will you explain that? It appears as Brahman as though in front because of avidya. He says no, because of avidya, it appears as not Brahman. Agre abrahma iva avidya drishtinam prati avabhasamanam. Those who are ignorant, for them Brahman is available as world. For those who have vidya drishti, world is a reminder of the truth. World becomes upalabdhi sthana of Brahma. Meaning, if somebody knows ornaments are nothing but gold, one who has clear knowledge of ornament and gold, that ornament becomes the reason to shift attention to gold. For the ignorant person, he is caught up only in name and form of that ornament. But what is there is nothing but gold. Same thing over here. Paschat Brahma. Paschat means at the back. Tata dakshinatah, tata uttarena. On the right, on the left. Tata eva adhasthat. Down, urdhvam, above. Sarvatah, in all places. Anyat iva, as though it is available different from its essential nature. Anyat iva karya akarena. It is present as different effects. Prasrutam. Prasrutam means pragatam nama rupavat avabhasamanam. It is spread in all names and forms, in all directions. Kim bahuna Brahma eva idam vishwam. Moreover, this Brahman alone is present as this world. Brahma eva idam vishwam samastam idam jagat. This entire jagat is nothing but Brahman, and that Brahman is Varishtam. Varishtam refers to Brahma, not Jagat. Varishtam means that which should be sought after. Varatamam. Anytime you want to remember the meaning of the word Varanam, Varatamam, always remember Varamala. What is Varamala? That which is exclusively chosen, that which you put to choose the other person. So here also Varatamam refers to that which should be sought after in life. So that is Brahma. Now, why do we see this world as world which is constantly changing, having totally different lakshana than Brahma? This is abrahma pratyaya. Because of ignorance, the lens of ignorance, that Brahman which is unchanging appears to be this changing world. Because our attention is mostly turned outside. What this mantra is telling is, don't look at world and try to see Brahman in the world. First look at Brahman and then try to see the world. You will find that world as an appearance in Brahman. This is Bada Samanadikaranya. the word Jagat is negated first. And what is pointed out is the truth. You see, from the standpoint of consciousness, see whether Jagat has independent existence or not. We'll find it is dependently existent on consciousness. If you want to do it step by step, you can do it step by step also. Where is outside world appearing? First in vritti, in thought. Where is that thought appearing? Thought appears in consciousness. Even space is recognized as a thought. Left, right, up and down, everything is recognized as a thought. So in that consciousness, everything is appearing. Abrahma pratyaya sarvaha avidya matraha. The understanding that world is real is only because of ignorance. Example is Rajvam iva sarpa pratyaya. Just like in rope, the thought that snake is real is because of ignorance. The thought that world is real is also because of ignorance. But what is important to note here is knowledge of substratum. Rajvam iva sarpa pratyaya. Shankaracharya doesn't say only sarpa pratyaya. Not only the notion of snake, but notion of snake in the rope. Reality given to snake in the rope is because of avidya. Avidya of what? Avidya of substratum. In snake rope example, whenever we say avidya, ignorance, it is not avidya of something else. It is not avidya of pot and cloth. It is avidya of the rope, which is giving rise to snake thought, snake pratyaya. So here also it is avidya of Brahma, which is giving rise to abrahma pratyaya, which is called as Jagat. Brahma eva ekam paramartha satyam. Brahman alone is the absolute reality. Iti Veda Anushasanam. This is the message of entire Vedas. So Shankaracharya says this mantra is not only summary of 2.2, second Mundaka, second Khanda. This is a summary of entire Vedas. Now this concludes our second Mundaka, because second Mundaka had two Khanda, part 1 and part 2. What are the highlights of this Mundaka? We should never forget the student of Mundakopanishad. A student of Mundaka is Shaunaka Maharshi, who was a Mahashalaha. One commentator says, Mahashalaha means he was also teaching Vedanta. But he had Paroksha Jnanam. He had knowledge of Brahman as different from himself. Now he wants to have Aparoksha Jnanam. Wants to abide in this self. That is why he has come to Angiras Rishi. Otherwise, such a question doesn't come to ordinary person. What is that knowing which everything becomes known? That question will not come to somebody who is not thinking of Vedanta. And of course, Mahashala means he had lot of schools. And when he comes to Angiras Rishi, directly asks the question. He doesn't say how his schools are running. He doesn't invite Angiras Rishi. You also come to this school. Nothing. Kasminnu bhago vijñāte sarvamidam vijñātam bhavatiti. Then Angiras Rishi explained Aparavidya first. Then in second Mundaka, Paravidya description started. First Mundaka, first Khanda, meeting happened. First Mundaka, second Khanda, Aparavidya description happened. Second Mundaka, first Khanda, Paravidya description started. Now we are completing second Mundaka, second Khanda, 2.2. So in 2.2, the essential teaching was Mahavakya. Very unique method was pointed out to recognize truth within. First bring attention to heart, then recognize buddhi, then recognize buddhi sakshi. Note the location of buddhi. Buddhi is pointed out in the heart. Even when we say some message, what do we say? This is my heartfelt message. Thank you also, we say heartfelt thanks. In this, knowledge should become heartfelt. Our rasa, taste should come in this knowledge. So that was pointed out as Buddhi Pratyaya Sakshi. And the same Sakshi was pointed out as substratum of creation. It is a Sakshi, Brahma, in which rivers, mountains, different lokas, all of them are woven, all of them appear to be. This is the Mahavakya which was pointed out. I am the center of this creation. I as in consciousness. Because generally it goes with ego. I am the center. Everything revolves around me. But not as ahankara. As pure consciousness, these conditionings have emerged from me, and total conditioning also has emerged from me. That is the message. Then a unique technique was pointed out for how to keep the mind in this truth. That was the technique of meditation, using the metaphor of bow and arrow, the archery metaphor. Step number 1 was sandhayita, do upasana. Along with conditioning, connect the individual to the total. Don't worry about erasing conditionings. Just purify them by connecting both. Second step was starting Vedantic meditation. Withdraw the mind from names and forms, ayamya. And third step was Vedhavyam. Shift attention to unconditioned truth. So from conditioned truth, drop individual conditioning, drop total conditioning, abide in the self which is unconditioned. That was another uniqueness of this khanda. Then there were some sadhanas given in this khanda. Main sadhana was anya vacho vimunchatha. Once we have understood what is our goal, Upanishads tell us, don't get stuck in anything else. In our own mind, we should not have Mahatva Buddhi. Mahatva Buddhi means importance given to worldly things, which has a spectrum of things which a person can give importance to. One example is name and fame. Kirti, name and fame. He says, Anya vacho vimunchata. Leave all of that, because the truth is something which is exclusive. Means we cannot get everything and the truth. Because the everything else that we are seeking needs the ego to thrive. All those titles belong to the ego. And the truth we are seeking requires erasing this ego. So I cannot protect it and erase it at the same time. Therefore, anya vacho vimunchate. The definition of vairagya in Rama Gita, truna sama siddhi tini guna tyagi. Kahau tataso parama biragi. The one who is able to let go of all siddhis. How did we translate siddhi there? Titles given to ahankara. So speaking about siddhi means speaking about how great I am. That is the title which is my bondage. And Upanishad mantra says, Anya vacho vimunchate. Then second sadhana which was given was become Atma Vidaha. Become Atma Vidaha. Atma Vida means one who is an expert in shifting attention to the truth. Subject matter experts are also like that. In the midst of noise, they can precisely find out what is the essence. Raman Maharshi gives example of the diver. A ring has fallen in the well. This diver jumps into the well, precisely brings that ring out. That ring is Atma. And the diver is Atma Vidaha. Whenever the mind gets sidetracked, whenever Jivatva raises its hood, he should have the ability to become Atma Vidaha. Whatever knowledge he has learned, it should come to save him. Musicians, when they set the background Shruti, even if there is a slight change, very quickly they can find out. That is called as Swara Vidaha. One who is an expert in Swara. Other people, if they are listening, they say, yeah, this is right. But for them, it is even the slightest one, it will make a difference. Just like in the midst of that noise, they are able to listen to that precise Swara. Atma Vida, in the midst of worldly noise, can shift attention to the truth. Atma Pratyaya Anusarana Shilaha, Shankaracharya said. Those who are experts in thinking about Atma. That is a personality one has to develop. And the last uniqueness of this khanda was the result of knowledge. Vidyate hrudaya granthi, chidyante sarva samshayaha, kshiyante chasya karmani, tasmin drushte paravare. That was one result. And last mantra also. Seeing this world as Brahman, until that happens, our journey is not complete. If I say I am Brahman, but world is real, and world is world, then that is not complete understanding. Or in other words, if I say, the world is creating a bondage for me, that is also not complete understanding. Final understanding is, world is nothing but Brahman. Unreal thing cannot bind a real entity. This understanding he has to strengthen. Now the next portion, Shankaracharya is introducing. What is the third Mundaka for? This is the last Mundaka now. He says this Mundaka has many specialities. Like Second Mundaka 2.2, the main uniqueness of that Mundaka was meditation technique, Mahavakya. He says the uniqueness of the third Mundaka is it is going to talk about auxiliary sadhanas. Means our spiritual life and realization, the final step is Mahavakya Vichara. But many a time sadhaka feels, I've heard Mahavakya several times. I can explain Mahavakya also, but I don't see the result of this knowledge. So this Mundaka is going to say, if we want to see the result of this knowledge, we should make sure our fundamentals are right. What are the fundamentals? Sahakari sadhanani. Auxiliary sadhanas, which are the foundations. So one sadhana is purity of mind. That will be pointed out. Another sadhana is exclusively seeking this truth, varanam, not half-hearted quest. 100% quest. If that is not there, no matter how much we study, we will not make any concrete changes in our understanding. Means, if I really want self-abidance, I should feel the urge and need for it. Not only urge, I should feel the urgency for it. Urge many people have, but urgency is not felt. That will be elaborated. Then, what is the definition of inner strength? That will come. How to avoid inadvertence? That topic will be discussed. Then, what is tapasya? Austerity. And the role of sannyasa. All these points, they become the uniqueness of this khanda. Truth is also discussed, but truth has been discussed since second Mundaka. So Shankaracharya points out these are the unique features of this khanda. Let's see the introduction. Paravidya ukta yaya tad aksharam purushakyam satyam adhigamyate yat adhigame hrudaya granthyadi samsara karanasya आत्यंतिक विनाशस्यात् तद्दर्शने उपायश्च योगः धनुरादि उपादान कल्पनया उक्तः अथ इदानीं तत्सहकारीणि सत्यादि साधनानि वक्तव्यानीति तदर्थम उत्तर आरंभः प्राधान्येन तत्वनिर्धारणं च प्रकारान्तरेण क्रियते अत्यंत दुरवगाह्य दुरवगाह्यत्वात् कृतम् अपि तत्र सूत्रभूतः मंत्रः परमार्थवस्तु अवधारणार्थम उपन्यस्यते. Paravidya Ukta. What is Paravidya has already been spoken about in the previous khanda. Yaya tad aksharam purushakyam satyam adhigamyate. What is that Paravidya? It is that knowledge which will lead us towards Akshara. This was the definition of Paravidya. Shankaracharya says it has been already elaborated. Means if somebody has understood until this point, they should be able to shift attention to the truth. How much they are able to do it, how long they are able to do it, depends upon sincerity and spiritual stamina. It is just like map is shown of the final destination and from here how to go there. But whether I actually go or not depends upon me. How much time it will take for me to reach there depends upon my stamina and whether I get distracted in between or not. Shankaracharya says, whatever has to be told has been told. Now, what is the glory of this Paravidya? Yad adhigame, having known which, Hrudaya Granthyadi. Hrudaya Granthi refers to Vasana and erroneous identification. Consciousness identifying with inert matter. That is called as Hrudaya Granthi. And Adi refers to all the subsequent desires. The moment I start feeling I'm this finite person, I need happiness from this world. For happiness, I have a list of desires. That is represented by the word Adi. Samsara Karanasya. What is Samsara Karana? Avidya. In Vedanta, Samsara Karana is, main Karana is Avidya, ignorance of my own true nature. Atyantika Vinashaha. What Paravidya does is, it will completely destroy this ignorance. If I chant Mundaka mantras, if I understand Mundaka mantras, and tune my thinking with Mundaka mantras, whether I like it or not, avidya will be destroyed. This is the power of the mantra itself, Paravidya. Atyantika vinashaha syat. Tad darshane upayascha. To see this destruction happening in our own life, one method is also given. That method is called as yoga. Which yoga? Not asana pranayama. Yoga is uniting the mind with the truth. Focusing the mind on Atma. That yoga has been described in the previous khanda. How was it described? Dhanuhu adi upadana kalpanaya. Using the metaphor of bow and arrow. Kalpana here refers to metaphor, not imagination. Kalpana is metaphor. Uktaha, this was mentioned. Now, why do we need to start another Mundaka? Shankaracharya says, Atha idani. Now, tat sahakarini. That refers to of that yoga. The quest to destroy avidya. Sadhaka is trying hard, but it is not happening. He has understood the mantra, Brahmayodam Purastat Paschat Dakshinata Uttaratah, but he still feels samsara is binding him. Jagat is unreal, this knowledge is not settling down. Brahman alone is real, this knowledge is not settling down. Then what do we need? We need some supplements. Some vitamin deficiency is there. One deficiency is pure mind. There is some untruth in life. Second is Varanam is lacking. Doesn't see the need for liberation yet. Happy in samsara. Third deficiency is inner strength is lacking. Some obstacle comes, mind goes away from the truth. Fourth deficiency is he has inadvertence, means he has taken spiritual knowledge little casually. Whatever disciplines are expected, very often he falls short of them. That is called as pramada. Like this, there are several things which need to be strengthened. Those are called as sahakari sadhanani. Satyadi सहकारिणी साधनानि वक्तव्यानि इति तदर्थम उत्तर आरंभः. To explain what needs to be worked upon, third Mundaka is being elaborated. प्राधान्येन तत्वनिर्धारणं च. Pradhanyena means, although it is true or it's a matter of fact that only Veda mantras will be able to reveal nature of Atma. Pradhanyena means that primary means of knowing Atma is Upanishads. Pradhanyena tattva nirdharanam. Prakarantarena kriyate. Although it has been explained before, now in a new way it is going to be presented. Why do we need to keep repeating Atyanta Duravagahyatvat? Because it is very difficult to get. It is subtle, difficult to wrap our head around. Tatra Sutra Bhutaha Mantraha. The mantras which are going to come are going to explain the same point which has been explained already. Paramartha Vastu Avadharanartham Upanyasyate. To explain the supreme truth, this khanda is going to start with a very sweet metaphor of two birds. So in our CCMT book, the cover page has those two birds. We'll see it in the next session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om.